What is up, guys? It is Sunday the 29th of January, and that makes this the last tech news roundup of January 2017. So let's get into it. First up, there's a mixture of good and bad news if you're a member of Vitality Health, who's a health insurance here in the UK, and what they've basically done is they've offered users the ability to buy the new Apple Watch for only £69, roughly $90 US, with one catch. That catch is you have to score a certain amount of vitality points done by sort of exercising and, using their app, believe it or not. Now, every month you didn't do enough activity, they'd charge you £12.50, which meant that if you bought it for only £69 and didn't exercise for the entire 2 years, you'd just pay the standard price of an Apple Watch. But the idea was that if you got one for cheap and you used their app and you exercised, then you got a cheap Apple Watch. Now you might be wondering, George, where's the bad part in all of this? This sounds great, where can I sign up? And that's a good question. The issue is, there seemed to be a syncing issue between the Apple Watch and the app, and it's meant that a lot of people have had to pay £12.50 even though they've exercised. It definitely seems like a software issue as opposed to a hardware issue, but it's peculiar, and the majority of the reviews for this app are 1 star, which just shows you that although well-intentioned, it really hasn't worked out. Personally, I really hope they get it all together because it's a bit of a shame, because it seems like a really decent offer. I mean, I wouldn't say no to £200 off a product, but they just need it. It's lacking that, that experience. Elsewhere, Dropbox are in a bit of trouble because files they should have been deleting and that were deleted back in 2009 seem to be reappearing in people's Dropbox accounts. Now, Dropbox is claiming this is a bug fix gone wrong, as when you delete a file it's supposed to be permanently gone after 60 days, but they clearly weren't if your old files are magically reappearing. Apparently the deleted files and folders had metadata inconsistencies, which is weird, but apparently if something has a metadata inconsistency they keep it before they try and fix it, and they didn't try and fix it for some files or something, which means they're still around. I don't know. These files are only visible to the users who created the files and not to any apps that share the access to Dropbox, like if you have it linked up with Evernote or something, for example. However, it's still peculiar, and Dropbox are working to roll it back, so any files that did appear will now be disappearing again, so don't expect it to be there if it wasn't there before. If nothing else, this serves as a good reminder that you should never, ever, ever trust any really personal, sensitive information to a cloud service, because you never know what they're actually doing with that information. If you were to delete it from your local PC, you'd know that it's actually deleted, whereas when you press delete on Dropbox, you may think it's deleted, but it isn't necessarily. And even though Dropbox is relatively reputable, imagine if you're using something smaller and something that isn't under such scrutiny, and it meant that they could be doing whatever they want with all of your information. And finally, interesting news from Twitter, as the gag order that they received has now been lifted, and that means they can share some information. Specifically, the information is that they received 2 national security requests, one in 2015 and one in 2016, and this was that they had to hand over all of their information about specific users. Now, the important thing here is the end user wasn't told they were being investigated, and these weren't legal warrants, they were national security letters, which meant they were completely top secret. In a statement that was announced on the Twitter blog on Friday, they said that they provided each account holder with a copy of the NSL, as well as all of the data that was handed over due to the NSL. The idea of using a national security letter paired with a gag order to try and get tech companies to hand over all of their information by force is one that isn't very compelling to many end users, and is the reason that Twitter is currently in court. In fact, they have filed a lawsuit against the US government, together with the likes of Facebook and Google and all of these companies that collect all this information and don't want to be sharing it with the government because it's their information. We'll have to see if anything else comes of this, but in the same way that the Dropbox thing was a reminder that you shouldn't put private files in the cloud, you shouldn't be expecting all of your stuff to be completely private when you use the internet. Sure, things like Facebook and Twitter are free, but realistically, they just use all of your information. That's their product. You as someone to be advertised to. And you also shouldn't be surprised when a government swoops in and wants all of your information for themselves, just to make sure you completely check out. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure why you're still here. However, you can click right here to see the previous video, and then here to see what YouTube suggests that you will really, really like. Make sure to hit subscribe to see future videos like this one, and there's also like a fancy, dancy, like little Snappy-Tech logo right here, so you can click that. Subscribe to see more videos in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.